Some ships are built to carry people, but a few rare giants are built to change the world. Today, you and I are stepping aboard one of the most influential ships in modern cruising history, a vessel that didn't just redefine vacations, it redefined what a ship could be. This is Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas, a floating city, a marvel of engineering, and a ship whose impact can still be felt across the industry, more than a decade after she first touched the sea. I'm your host, and welcome to Sail Secrets, where today we take a slow, thoughtful, deck-by-deck exploration of a ship that changed cruising forever. When Oasis of the Seas debuted in 2009, she wasn't just the largest cruise ship in the world, she was the largest moving human-made structure on the planet. Built at the STX shipyard in Turku, Finland, Oasis represented a leap in imagination. Fine, dine on divine, dividing the ship into neighborhoods, creating open-air spaces down the center, and turning the sea itself into part of the experience. Over 5,600 guests at double occupancy, more than 7,000 people on board when fully loaded, 16 passenger decks, and a design so bold that no port in the world was fully prepared for her. And today, we're going to walk through every major public space from bottom to top, every neighborhood, every iconic venue, every hidden gem that makes Oasis of the Seas one of the most beloved ships sailing today. Let's begin near the heart of traditional cruising, the main dining room. This 3-deck-high dining complex is one of Oasis's most elegant spaces. Tall columns, sweeping staircases, golden lighting. The feeling is classic, timeless cruising with a modern polish. On this deck, Enderby B, Deck 3, you'll find the lowest level of the dining room, normally used for set-time dinner and open-seating breakfast or lunch. The menu changes daily, blending comfort dishes with international flavors, and, for guests who have cruised for decades, this room feels like home, a place where traditions, conversations, and sea stories come alive. Now let's move up one level to Deck 4, a deck packed with nightlife, dining, and entertainment. Our first stop is Izumi, Oasis's Asian specialty restaurant. Here, the hibachi tables put on a full show. Fire, flair, and flavor, and the sushi bar offers some of the freshest bites at sea. It's a guest favorite for anniversaries, celebrations, and evenings when you want something a little more theatrical. Step forward, and the atmosphere changes completely. Welcome to Casino Royale. This is one of the largest casinos at sea, featuring hundreds of slot machines, blackjack, roulette, poker, craps, and its own full-service bar. Smoking is permitted on the port side, while the starboard half is completely non-smoking, an important detail for many of our viewers. Royal Caribbean also includes a smaller, fully smoke-free casino elsewhere on Deck 4, something guests appreciate more than ever today. Continue down the corridor, and you'll arrive at the Art Gallery. Here you can browse curated collections, learn about artists, or attend an onboard auction, something many longtime cruisers still enjoy as a unique sea day tradition. This whole zone is known as Entertainment Place, a dedicated neighborhood for evening activities. On your right is Studio B, Oasis's ice arena. Yes, a full ice rink in the middle of the ocean. Here you'll watch high-end professional ice shows, and on select sessions, you can even lace up a pair of skates yourself. Right next to it is Blaze, a venue used for comedy, game shows, themed nights, and late-night fun. Intimate, energetic, and always surprising. For Royal Caribbean's loyal cruisers, particularly Diamond-level members, the Crown Lounge sits right across the hall, offering a quiet, private space with snacks, cocktails, and sweeping views. And tucked further inside Entertainment Place is something many guests consider a major highlight: the ship's fully smoke-free casino, perfect for guests who enjoy gaming without the haze. At the far forward end of Deck 4, we arrive at the Royal Theater. This massive space spans 2 decks, 4 and 5, and hosts Broadway-style shows, headliner acts, live music, and original Royal Caribbean productions. It's grand, comfortable, and beautifully designed, continuing the tradition of large maritime theaters from the golden age of cruising. Now, we step into one of Oasis's most famous innovations, the Royal Promenade. This indoor boulevard runs down the center of the ship, lined with bars, cafes, shops, and entertainment. It feels like the lobby of a luxury hotel combined with a bustling city street. For many guests, this is the social heartbeat of the entire ship. On the left side is Boleros, a Latin-themed lounge offering live music, salsa rhythms, and the best mojitos on board. A few steps away, something familiar: Starbucks. The full Starbucks menu, staffed by baristas, is available right here on Deck 5. On the port side is Spotlight Karaoke, where families and adults alike step onto the stage for nightly karaoke sessions. A fun, relaxed venue that always draws a crowd. Look up. The vaulted ceiling above is one of the most impressive engineering features on board. It gives the feeling of an atrium, with natural light during the day and colorful illumination at night. To your right is Solarium Beauty, and across from it, a boutique filled with Royal Caribbean merchandise. Further along, you encounter port merchants, selling duty-free goods, followed by the Globe and Atlas Pub, a British-style pub with draft beer and live classic rock. Straight ahead sits one of the most visited spots on the ship, Sorrento's Pizza. Whether it's lunchtime or late night, this place is always open, always busy, and always satisfying. Up on the right is Cafe Promenade, perfect for grab-and-go pastries, sandwiches, and coffee. Walk a bit further and you'll pass a gorgeous replica of a 1936 Auburn Speedster, a signature Oasis-class photo spot, followed by regalia jewelry stores. Nearby is one of the ship's most iconic features, the Rising Tides Bar, a moving lounge that travels slowly between decks 5 and 8. It's a relaxing, surreal experience that captures the playful engineering Oasis is known for. At the forward end of the promenade sits the Bionic Bar, where robotic arms mix cocktails with almost futuristic precision. A fun place to watch technology meet nightlife. Port side ahead are guest services, followed by the Regalia Fine Watches store. Continue aft, and you'll reach the Voom Internet Desk, the fastest internet at sea, along with the shopping desk. And finally, at the aft end of Deck 5, you'll find the second tier of the main dining room, completing the grand 3-story space we explored earlier. Now we step outside, into one of the most unique neighborhoods ever put on a cruise ship, the Boardwalk. At the very back of Deck 6 is the AquaTheater, home to Aqua 80 and other high-intensity diving and acrobatics shows. It's one of the most dramatic entertainment venues at sea, combining high dives, synchronized swimming, and aerial stunts, all framed by the open ocean. On either side of the theater rise 2 massive rock-climbing walls, offering beautiful views when you reach the top. Dominating the boardwalk skyline are the large purple tubes of the Ultimate Abyss, a dry slide that spirals down from Deck 16 to Deck 6 at thrilling speed. To the right is Johnny Rockets, the retro 1950s diner, returning with burgers, fries, milkshakes, and dancing servers. On the port side sits Playmakers, a sports bar and arcade offering wings, beer, big screen games, and plenty of nostalgia. The boardwalk continues with the Beach Shop, the classic carousel, Sugar Beach Candy Shop, and Boardwalk Doghouse, serving complimentary hot dogs with various toppings. Moving forward, we re-enter the ship through the promenade corridor. Here we find the Shore Excursions desk, photo gallery tablets, the Next Cruise office where guests book future adventures, and of course, the beloved Schooner Bar, known for its nautical themes and nightly piano music. Finally, at the forward end of Deck 6 is the entrance to the Vitality at Sea Spa and Fitness Center. This massive complex includes the Vitality Cafe, treatment rooms, a full salon, and one of the largest fitness centers on any ship at sea. Deck 7 is where the ship becomes quiet, peaceful, almost residential. After the bright energy of the promenade and boardwalk, this deck feels like an entirely different world. This entire level is dedicated to staterooms, no large public venues, no bars, no crowds, just hallways leading to hundreds of guest cabins. You'll find ocean view cabins, balcony rooms overlooking both the ocean and the boardwalk or Central Park, along with interior staterooms designed with impressive space efficiency. For many long-time cruisers, especially our 50-plus viewers, the separation between public spaces and cabin decks is a welcome design element. It allows restful nights and calmer hallways throughout the voyage. Though there's not much to explore here visually, Deck 7 marks the start of Oasis's upper living levels, and it sets the stage for one of the ship's crown jewels, waiting just ahead. And now, one of the most remarkable concepts ever introduced at sea. Welcome to Central Park. Deck 8 is home to Oasis's groundbreaking open-air neighborhood, a peaceful garden lined with live trees, sculpted greenery, winding pathways, and gentle classical music drifting through the air. This space shocked the world when Oasis launched, an outdoor park in the center of a cruise ship, open to the sky. It's peaceful, elegant, and perfectly suited for guests who enjoy quiet strolls, romance, and refined dining. On the starboard side is Vintages, a wine bar offering tastings, premium bottles, and a warm European-style ambiance. It's ideal for slow evenings or pre-dinner gatherings. Just steps away is the library, one of the most relaxing hidden corners on the ship. Comfortable seating, great lighting, and a quiet space to read or simply unwind. On many nights, Central Park fills with live classical guitar or soft jazz. The music drifts between the trees, and it feels almost unreal that you're floating on the ocean. Deck 8 is home to some of Oasis's most beloved specialty restaurants, a family-style Italian venue, offering rustic pasta, flavorful dishes, and warm service, perfect for leisurely lunches or elegant dinners. One of the most popular spots on the entire ship, a casual daytime eatery famous for its Royal Promenade roast beef sandwich. Cruisers swear by it, and many come here daily. A stylish outdoor bar sitting directly under the sky. A perfect place for evening cocktails surrounded by greenery. One of Oasis's finest dining experiences. A farm-to-table inspired restaurant offering sophisticated multi-course meals with impeccable presentation. A Royal Caribbean classic, Chops serves premium steaks, seafood, and upscale sides, making it a favorite for anniversaries and celebrations. And gliding up from Deck 5, the Rising Tides Bar arrives here in Central Park. Guests step off the moving platform right into the heart of the garden. It's whimsical engineering, functional, smooth, and a wonderful photo moment. Finally, at the aft end of Deck 8 you'll find Music Hall. A multi-level venue for live bands, dancing, tribute shows, and themed nights. It's energetic, dynamic, and a favorite for nightlife lovers. Decks 9, 10, 11, and 12 are primarily stateroom decks, a layer cake of guest accommodations. From ocean view balconies to interior rooms and Central Park balconies overlooking the garden below, these decks are extremely popular due to their quiet location and easy access to both Central Park above and the promenade below. But there are a few notable public spaces on these levels. On Deck 11, you'll find a dedicated card room, a popular spot for bridge players, board games, puzzles, and quiet gatherings. It's a nostalgic touch, and many veteran cruisers return here daily for friendly games. Near Deck 12 is the Crown and Anchor Society Loyalty Desk, where frequent cruisers meet with the staff to learn about benefits, tier upgrades, and upcoming sailings. Deck 14 marks the transition from calm accommodation decks to a lively mix of adventure, education, and family fun. On the port side is one of Oasis's most engaging attractions, the Apollo 18 Escape Room. This immersive experience places you and your group inside a detailed NASA mission control room, complete with puzzles, switches, clues, and mission objectives. For guests over 50 who enjoy logic challenges, teamwork, and nostalgia for the early space era, this venue is a joy. Further forward is the Adventure Ocean Complex, a massive youth and children's facility divided into age-specific zones. You'll find nursery and royal babies and tots adventure juniors ages 6 to 12 dedicated play spaces, a children's theater and activity and craft rooms. It's well-staffed, secure, and designed for both entertainment and education. For grandparents cruising with their families, Adventure Ocean often becomes a treasured part of the vacation, giving kids their own world while adults enjoy the ship. Nearby are the zones designed for teens, including the hangout lounges and activity rooms that form part of the Social 100 network. These areas provide independence for older kids while remaining supervised and safe. Now we arrive on one of the most exciting and visually stunning areas of the entire ship. Deck 15, the main outdoor activities deck. This is where sea days come alive. At the forward end sits the Solarium, an adults-only oasis reserved for guests aged 16 and up. It's quiet, warm, and filled with comfortable seating, cascading pools, and panoramic views stretching out across the bow. For many older cruisers, the Solarium becomes a second home during the week. Peaceful, temperature-controlled, and beautifully designed. Inside the Solarium, you'll find the Solarium Bistro, which offers, healthier Mediterranean-inspired cuisine for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And pretty close to this area, there's the Chef's Table, a specialty dining experience with intimate multi-course meals paired with sommelier-selected wines. It really is one of the most exclusive culinary offerings on board. On both sides outside the Solarium, there are these large, overhanging whirlpools suspended above the ocean. Honestly, they're one of the most iconic Oasis features. They extend outward from the hull, giving you absolutely spectacular views through curved glass. Moving aft, we enter the central pool deck, which is, without a doubt, the beating heart of daily activity. On the port side, you'll see the twisting tubes of the perfect storm trio of water slides. They're just exhilarating for guests of all ages. The main pool sits right at the center, surrounded by loungers, sun umbrellas, and honestly, the lively atmosphere you'd expect from a traditional Caribbean pool deck. Multiple lime and coconut bars dot the deck, serving up colorful tropical drinks and frozen cocktails. Live music often fills this area, adding to the vacation vibe. Next to the main pool is the beach pool, which features a sloped entry designed just like a shoreline. It's a fun, relaxing spot for guests who prefer shallow waters. You'll find Splashaway Bay, a water playground for children with fountains, small slides, and colorful water cannons. And of course, there are the classic sprinkle soft serve stations around the pool deck, a simple joy that, honestly, never goes out of style. A bit further aft is the sports pool, which is used for water games, competitions, and lap swimming. There are ping pong tables nearby, and certain sessions even feature scuba training for certified diving programs. Moving to mid-aft, we arrive at Portside BBQ, an outstanding venue serving brisket, pulled pork, smoked chicken, ribs, home-style sides, and southern-style desserts. For many cruisers, especially those from the United States, this is, honestly, one of their favorite additions to the Oasis-class. Aft, on deck 15, sits Oasis Dunes, the ship's mini golf course. It's a fun, timeless activity with ocean breezes and panoramic views. Above this space, you can look up toward the entry area for the zip line, which begins one deck higher. Just beneath deck 16 structures is the sports court, which is used for basketball, soccer, and, the increasingly popular sport of pickleball. Close by is the Social 100 Teen Lounge and patio area. It's a stylish outdoor retreat that's totally separate from the younger kids' zones. Nearby is El Loco Fresh, where they're serving up fresh tacos, quesadillas, burritos, and all sorts of Mexican-inspired favorites. It's just perfect for a fast, flavorful lunch by the pool. And finally, the Challenger Arcade offers retro video games, air hockey racing simulators, and honestly, a whole lot of family-friendly fun. Now let's head up one deck to deck 16, home to one of Oasis's most important dining venues, the Windjammer Marketplace. This is the ship's main buffet restaurant, bright, spacious, and offering an international selection of dishes for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For many guests, especially seasoned cruisers, the Windjammer becomes a daily ritual. Coffee in hand, ocean views surrounding you, and endless choices at your fingertips. Just outside are sun decks with loungers and rentable casitas, perfect for shaded relaxation. A second lime and coconut bar sits near this area, keeping refreshments close. Running alongside the Windjammer is a walkway offering elevated views of both Central Park below and the pool deck beside it, a perspective many first-time cruisers don't even know exists. Now we rise one level above Central Park, into a place many first-time cruisers don't even realize holds some of the ship's most peaceful cabins. Deck 9 is not a public deck, it's dominated by stateroom corridors, but the experience here is special. This is where you begin to understand how Oasis of the Seas was designed not just as a ship, but as a floating neighborhood. Deck 9 sits directly between two of the ship's biggest open-air areas, Central Park below and the pool deck above. That means rooms here are some of the quietest on board, And here's a secret tip I always share with viewers. If you want the calmest night's sleep, choose Deck 9 Midship. You're sandwiched between layers of soft spaces, away from the thumping bass of the boardwalk, and away from pool deck activity. But let's head upward. Because Deck 10 is where things start getting interesting. Deck 10 is a favorite among Oasis-class loyalists. This level is lined with balcony staterooms overlooking Central Park, giving guests one of the most unique balcony experiences in the world. A view not of the ocean, but of a serene garden suspended in the middle of the sea. Think about this for a second. You're 10 decks above the ocean, but your balcony feels like a quiet apartment terrace in New York or Boston. You hear leaves rustling, you smell fresh flowers, you hear live guitar drifting up from the park at night. There's nothing else like this on any other class of ship, but as we continue up, you'll notice something. The higher we go, the more the ship transitions from neighborhoods into entertainment, excitement, and pure vacation energy. Deck 11 begins the gradual shift toward the action-packed upper decks. While it remains largely a stateroom deck, it also serves as a bridge between the calm midship neighborhoods and the activity zones above. Deck 11 is a great place for families who want quick access to the pools, but don't want to hear late-night music. It's also directly above Central Park, which means some rooms come with those beautiful internal views. But we're moving to one of the most exciting parts of the entire vessel. We're stepping up to a deck that thousands of cruisers call their second home. Deck 12 marks the doorstep to the ship's outdoor playground, but first, it's one final stateroom deck, yet this one has a small secret tucked away inside. Deck 12 is home to the Diamond Lounge, a private retreat for Crown and Anchor Society's Diamond-level members. It offers panoramic views, upscale snacks, and a quiet place to enjoy coffee in the morning or cocktails before dinner. This deck is the calm right before the storm, because now we're climbing into the part of the ship everyone talks about. Ladies and gentlemen, we're heading to where Oasis of the Seas becomes an adventure resort. Deck 14 is where the energy of Oasis of the Seas truly comes alive. This deck is massive, stretching from the serene Solarium at the front, all the way to the Flowrider surf simulators at the back. Today, we're exploring every inch. We begin at the Solarium, one of my favorite places on the ship. This is an adults-only escape, calm music, gentle waterfalls, 2 large whirlpools, and one of the best views on the entire vessel. At sunrise, this is pure magic. The Solarium features one of the largest glass wings ever installed on a cruise ship, allowing panoramic visibility without wind or salt spray. During rough seas, this becomes the most stable lounging area on the ship. As we move toward the center, the sound changes, the vibe grows louder, the sun grows brighter, and the spirit of vacation takes over. Welcome to the pool and sports zone. Here, you'll find the main pool, the beach pool with sloped entry, the sky bar perched 2 levels above, the jogging track circling the entire deck, and hot tubs that cantilever over the ocean. The beach pool is a fun one. It's shaped like a shoreline. The water gradually gets deeper as you walk in, mimicking a real beach experience. And just above it all, suspended like a futuristic island, is the sky bar. 2 decks above the pool, it offers unbeatable ocean views. And now, one of the ship's signature thrills. You're 9 decks above the boardwalk, standing on a platform looking straight down at a carousel, Johnny Rockets, and hundreds of people below. This is the zip line, an Oasis-class exclusive. You step off, and for a moment it's fine winskines, when modern furrows, it brightsidro matsen de dan. Ben Storins, feed. When dean daxid dodden, Gilbert Daxon deals in the dans as den. Rindexed and dust like ring, with stats stands at den dang, with Jackson like flying. At the aft end of Deck 14 are the Flowrider surf simulators, 1 on each side. These things are addictive. Whether you're surfing, bodyboarding, or just watching wipeouts, the Flowrider area is non-stop entertainment. One tip, come early in the morning or late afternoon if you want shorter lines. Now let's step inside for a moment. Deck 14 also houses Adventure Ocean, which is kids programming, the Social 100 Teen Lounge, the card room, and the library. Royal Caribbean has built an entire world for families here. Kids get their own zones, teens get their own hangouts, and parents get peace of mind. But there's one more major highlight on this deck, a place beloved by loyal cruisers. Deck 15 is where Oasis of the Seas opens up into vast spaces of sky, sea, and pure energy. This is the uppermost level of the pool and sports zone, and it has some of the ship's most iconic outdoor attractions. When you reach Deck 15, you're no longer in the action, you're above it. Here, you get a bird's-eye view of the main pool, the beach pool, and the entire central deck. This is one of the best places on the ship to take photographs because the view is wide, clean, and beautifully symmetrical. It's also where you'll find quieter loungers, perfect for reading or, an afternoon nap. But as we move aft, the atmosphere changes again. Deck 15 houses the full-size sports court, complete with basketball, volleyball, pickleball, and even organized tournaments. Nestled right beside the sports court is the Harmony of the Seas golf course, a beautifully themed Caribbean-inspired mini-golf area. One of the newer additions after the ship's amplification is the perfect storm water slides, including the famous Typhoon and Cyclone. These slides twist and wrap around each other in wild spirals, and the best part, the clear sections that hang over the ocean. If you've never slid through a transparent tube at sea, that first drop is a surprise you won't forget. At the very back of Deck 15 is a secret, a viewing platform directly above the AquaTheater. This is one of my favorite areas. From up here you can look straight into the AquaTheater pool, the deepest pool at sea, and at night, you can even watch rehearsals from above. It's peaceful, during the day, and magical after sunset. But if you think we're near the end of the ship, think again. We're going even higher. Deck 16 is where Oasis of the Seas becomes something entirely different. Above the thrill decks and pool decks sits a quiet, exclusive world designed for sweet guests. This is the Sweet Neighborhood. Imagine a restaurant that feels like a luxury coastal resort. Soft woods, golden sunlight, and Mediterranean-inspired cuisine. This is Coastal Kitchen. Sweet guests dine here for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And honestly, many will tell you it becomes their favorite dining venue on board. The service is warm, the space is bright, and really, the views are unbeatable. Just outside Coastal Kitchen is the Suite Sun Deck, one of the most premium open-air spaces on the ship. This entire area is exclusive. Padded loungers, day beds, private bar service. It feels like a rooftop lounge in Miami. It's quiet, elegant, and perfectly positioned for sunsets. Deck 16 is home to the famous two-story Crown Loft Suites, stunning accommodations with panoramic views and modern split-level designs. These suites have double-height windows, spiral staircases, and some of the most dramatic ocean views you can get without stepping outside. If you're looking to celebrate something big, say an anniversary or a milestone birthday, this is the kind of cabin that makes the trip unforgettable. Moving forward on Deck 16, you reach the open bridge wings, narrow walkways that look down along the entire length of the ship. These extend several feet beyond the ship's hull. When you step onto one, you're literally standing above the ocean with glass panels underfoot. It's a surreal feeling, and honestly one of the best places to watch sail away. But now, we move to the highest publicly accessible deck. Deck 17 is small, but honestly, it's pretty iconic. It's part of the Suite Neighborhood and hosts some of the ship's most exclusive staterooms. This is where the owner's suites, AquaTheater suites upper levels, and top deck loft suites are located. The views from up here? They're something you never forget. And now, just one more level. Deck 18 is the highest passenger deck. It's small, quiet, and really private. You can feel the difference up here. The wind is stronger, the air is cooler, and the entire ship stretches out like a city below you. This is the perfect final stop before we head back down to the aft, where one of the ship's most iconic entertainment spaces awaits. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to explore the legendary AquaTheater. Nestled at the very back of Oasis of the Seas is a stage unlike anything else at sea. Part theater, part diving arena, part ocean amphitheater. This is where Royal Caribbean performs some of its most daring shows. The The AquaTheater pool can rapidly change depth using hydraulic floors, from a shallow rehearsal mode to the deepest pool at sea for diving performances. And when those divers leap from 60 feet above the water, wow, it's just breathtaking. 2 steel diving towers frame the stage, rising several stories above the audience. Divers climb up these narrow staircases, and when they reach the top, the ship is moving, the wind is shifting, and the ocean is rolling. Honestly, it's one of the most impressive live performances you'll ever witness. At night, the AquaTheater transforms. Lights shimmer across the water, and, music echoes across the boardwalk. The back of the ship, it just becomes this open-air spectacle. If you're sailing Oasis of the Seas, do not miss the AquaTheater shows. Seriously, they are the crown jewel of this vessel. As we end our full tour, we return where we began, in this floating city's heart. You've seen the promenade, Central Park, Boardwalk, the pool and sports zone, the sweet neighborhood, the AquaTheater. Really, every major deck and every major experience. Oasis of the Seas isn't just a ship, it's an engineering marvel, a resort, and honestly, a destination in itself, and for many of us, it becomes a second home. Thank you for joining me on this full deck-by-deck tour of Oasis of the Seas. If you enjoyed this documentary-style walkthrough, go ahead and subscribe to Sail Secrets for more in-depth cruise guides, hidden tips, and full ship tours. Until next time, I'm your host, and I'll see you on the next adventure, out at sea.